Hey everybody, Holly Warner here, coming to you live from my kitchen. These are my plants. This is my kitchen. I'm going to talk to you today about BPC157. That's a peptide. Now, some of you who've been following me noticed that when I fell, when I had my accident and I really fuckered my back, my go-to was a peptide therapy, which of course sped my healings exponentially. It's nuts, guys. It is crazy how healing this particular peptide was. It helped my journey so much. So I've had questions from my amazing followers as to what did it look like as I move out of the sun here, how did I do it? They were comments based on the fact that I said I injected it subcutaneously. And that seems to terrify people. It's almost as though people are afraid of needles. Not a shocker, but then those same people go get tattoos. Come on now, this is gonna hurt way less than a tattoo. So I figured I should do a video to show you guys that it's not that complicated, I promise. Okay, so to start things off, you guys, I have a couple of different things that you're gonna need to have. First of all, these guys here. Let me turn the camera around so I can show you exactly what it is that I'm talking about. These guys here are insulin syringes, little tiny itty bitty 1 ml. There you go. You can see they are 30 gauge needles. There's your information for you. They're ultra tiny, guys. They're super itty bitty little things. You're also gonna need one of these bad boys. This guy is what you're gonna use to put your backwater in so that you can reconstitute your peptides. So it's the 3 ml syringe. It's this big guy here. You're also gonna need some backwater. See? Bacteriostatic water, backwater. This guy here. And then of course we have the pièce de résistance. This is what our peptides look like. Let me see if I can put this up here so you can see it better. That's what our peptides look like. You see them? Before they're reconstituted. So they're in here just like that. You see? So I'm going to gently fill this guy up by taking my backwater, putting it into my larger syringe. That's this guy here. And then I'm going to, this guy gets flipped over like this. And it's injected sideways against the glass up here so that it's not actually touching the peptides. And then we're gonna just gently roll it. Okay, so first steps are important steps. I have some paper towel here. I have some alcohol. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is sterilize any kind of anything that you're coming in contact with. So I have my backwater, my bacteriostatic water. I pop off that little top that's on there. You see that? Now, I love spray alcohol because it's easier to work with. So take my alcohol, bunch of sprays, and then I'm just gonna wipe the top down. Just like that. Pretty easy, right? Da-da-da. Make sure it's clean. Now, this guy, brand new here. Don't reuse your needles, folks. And please make sure that you dispose of them properly. Very important. I'm gonna fill mine. Most people will put them up to the 2. I'm gonna do 1.5 because I'm only gonna be dosing once per day. I was doing twice a day before, now I'm only doing once a day, but I want it to be a little bit more potent. I'm gonna do it at nighttime, which is where your body repairs the most. So again, for my purpose, I'm only filling it to the 1.5 mark, the 1.5, whereas most people would do 2. So off comes the cap, to the side, and I'm gonna just take out enough that I get exactly my 1.5. There we go. There we go. Just like that. There we are. Now, ideally you want to pop a top and make sure you've cleaned this little fucker off as well with the alcohol. So I'm getting that alcohol, cleaning it off nice. Now remember I said to do it on an angle? poke it in there, away from the peptides. The peptides are down at the bottom. You see, I'm just slowly, look how slow and gentle, up against the glass, nice and gentle, just like that. And there we go. Now that it's done, we just want to kind of roll it around a little bit. You don't want to shake it. These peptides they're fragile, sensitive little beings. So you don't want to shake them. You want to roll them gently, nicely, as to not hurt them. Now I still have a little bit just kind of floating around there, so I'm going to do this for a couple of minutes and I'll come back. So one of the things about these peptides is that if you're buying it online, chances are you're getting something straight out of China. And I don't know about you, but I really don't want to be injecting something that came out of China where there's no quality control. I have seen some online that say made in America or made in the USA. Here's the thing. They typically tend to be something that was sourced from China, sent to the States, and packaged or bottled there. So what I'm using is actually a Canadian product that comes from a lab that's been tested, so we know that it's accurate and it is exactly everything that it says that it is. So I know I'm safe. And another reason that I know that it is pure and is good is because look at that. You see how clear that is? You guys see that? Look at that. It's super ultra clear. It shouldn't be cloudy. If it's cloudy, that's no good. Throw it out, okay? Okay. So the next steps now, I'm going to give myself a little prick. Are you ready for it? This is the point where if you're squeamish, you should probably tune out. But I want to show you how freaking easy this is. Super duper simple. Got to pull things out. Now we're able to move it. All right? Step one. Step two. Clean the area you're gonna do it in. And you can use some people, they like to do their stomach. You can just kind of like pinch some. Myself, I like the back of the arms. Bicep is a good area. Tricep is a good area. Everybody's got their own spot that they like to do. So you want to make sure you clean it off nice and well. Next, we're going to pop that off, save it. Go in on an angle, please, folks. There we go. And I'm going to fill it right up to the 10. Just like that. Woo! You can see it's to the 10 mark, just like that. Here comes the scary part. Go right to the back, jab it in, just like that. Bloop. Look, no blood, no fuss, no muss. That's it. Alcohol, good as she goes. Now you want to be safe, so make sure that we put our little cap back on. For those of you that are curious about how, look at this. Look how tiny that it's just the tiniest little tip ever. I mean, you don't feel it. You really don't feel it. And then of course, please put these into your sharps container or a container that you can bring with you to dispose of them in a sharps container. A lot of local facilities will have a sharps container. You can Google where to dispose of things like this safely so that your needle that has been used doesn't get into the wrong hands. Also, don't reuse your needles, folks. Get a new one. You know, these packs, they're not very expensive. Okay, so now that that's all done and I'm healing like a mofo, make sure you keep it as sanitary as possible. I put mine into these little mini Ziploc bags. You can get them at the dollar store, super cheap. Keep it all secure. Keep it in the fridge. it's good for about 10 days once you've reconstituted it. So now this will be good for 10 days. I will go through that. There's not a lot in it, but I'll go through that in about, my 10-day protocol. And then the backwater is good for probably about 21 to 24 days. Some people say it lasts for longer. I personally, I like to err on the side of caution, and I buy new stuff. So the bigger bottle, it's just better. So make sure everything is fresh, stay sterile. You don't want to be injecting anything negative, bad, icky into your system. It is a needle. You're putting things into you. So make sure that you always err on the side of caution. It's not like a steak where if you eat it 2 days after its past due date, you might possibly get the shits or not. This is stuff that could actually make you sick if you are injecting something bad into your body, because let's face it, you're injecting something into your body. So in the fridge it goes, good for 10 days. You can mark the date on it if you want to, if you're not quite sure, but you should be out of your product by the time that 10 days kind of rolls over. So that's my protocol for this. That's what I'm following. I'm doing it once a day, doing it at nighttime because that's when we repair the most. And that's about it, folks. If you have questions, I have other videos on BPC157, which is the peptide that I'm using here. I have info as to my peptide sessions that I offer if you want to talk about peptide therapy, whether it's going to be your TB500, or if we're looking at, we've got this one here, which is SR9009, which is super cool for like cardiovascular. I don't use it, but Ashley uses it, and she's testing that one out to see how well she likes it, so that's kind of cool. If you want to do peptide therapy, hit me up. I've got that as a session. If you have questions, I'm here to answer them. I have other videos down below on my YouTube that you can log into and watch that tell you all of the benefits from muscle repair to GI issues to Crohn's disease and all of that when it comes to BPC157. It really is a fantastic peptide. So go listen to my other videos and then hit me up with your questions, because that's what I'm here for. Later.